Hey guys, good morning. So today I've got a heel repeat session. I'll talk through it while I'm doing the session, but just to put things into perspective, so I'm in Johannesburg, South Africa. It's just gone 6 a.m. in the morning in London. Usually I don't even wake up near this time. And we've come to one of my favorite hills, Krauser. The segment we're doing is around 710 meters, and hills are a crucial part of training, which I'll explain through the video. Thankfully, I've got a few joiners with me this morning. Brendan, you want to come over here? You're slotting in for the last one today. I'm going to be taking a bit of content.
Okay,
Cool.
can't wait. I think it's going to be an absolute jaw coming up here. We've sweated and bled quite a few years ago, so let's do it again.
Cool. It's quite a nice Strava segment that keeps switching hands, so hopefully we overtake that Strava segment again. And Jeff, are you joining for the whole session?
What's up, guys? No, not the whole session.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I have a bit of an injury, so no excuses, but
wow.
I'll give it a go.
Okay. Don't do anything too crazy.
No.
Jeff's actually joining in my sub 2:45 train at London Marathon, if any of you guys are joining for that. And then yeah, I've got my uncle filming and Kat, another mate, filming. And are you joining for the full sesh?
No, I'm not joining for the full
Cool,
session.
man.
Cool.
I'm just going to try and hold on as much as possible.
Sweet.
But happy to be and meet Nick and be around Jeff. And
Awesome. What's the worst thing that can happen? We come back down the hill, that's fine. Okay, let's get going. You guys ready?
Yes,
Let's do
go,
it.
boys.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, 3, morning. Enjoy.
We can run close to the car.
Okay, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Okay, 6 times heel repeat session. Let's do this. So usually I do a lot of my training in London where I live. You have to run far and wide in London to find heels and get that elevation in. But here in Johannesburg, South Africa, there's no shortage of heels. So I knew when I'm coming here for holiday, I'm definitely going to get these heels in. And it's important to get heel repeat sessions in as well as heel sprint sessions in. So heel repeats are the longer, more gradual ones like this, 710 meters. And heel sprints are shorter, sharp, anything under sort of 30 seconds rep of explosive uphill energy. Massive shout out to Camo, Jeff and Brendan for joining the session. Teamwork definitely makes the dream work, and I definitely wouldn't have hit the paces I did in this session, and I would have fought a whole lot more demons in my head if I was doing this session solo. Okay, so let me give you a bit more insights into this hill. So as mentioned before, it's 710 meters from the start to the finish. It starts off fairly gradual and then gets steeper and steeper and then flattens out once you turn the corner, and then there's a bit of a sting in the tail. So really good training hill. Pretty much it allows you to get good leg speed once you turn the corner while the heart rate's through the roof, and then you're able to always find something at the end when there's that sting in the tail. So the average gradient for this hill is 6%, with the steepest section at 13.8%. Okay, so we've just turned that corner, which means the steepest section is over. Here's the flatter part, and you really got to drive those arms, get that leg turnover going, and build as much momentum in that leg speed as possible to get up the sting in the tail at the end. Heart rate is through the roof from that steep section, but because it's flatter, you're able to really pick up the leg speed, and it's such a productive way to train. If you're able to find a hill at a sort of similar gradient to this, I highly recommend it. There you could see my mate Brendan's arm sticking out the back with the camera. So I'm trying to hold form for myself, but I'm also trying to hold form for the content. I don't want to look like I'm absolutely crumbling and collapsing up this hill. Jeff's sticking with me here, pushing me almost to my limits all the way through to the end. Thanks, mate. There we have it, rep 1 in the bag, 3:49 per kilometer pace. 1 in the bag, 5 to go. Always nice to tick off that first one. And before the session, the guys asked me what sort of pace we'll go up at, and I said around 4 minutes, 4:10 per kilometer. So set off at a spicy pace for the first one, and it's always a challenge. Go hardish on the first one and try and match it. Rep number 2, let's go. This guy running with me, Camo, he joined for pretty much the steepest section until the corner. His 5k PB is 19 minutes and his marathon PB is around 3 hours and 15 minutes. He's a phenomenally strong runner and I can't wait to see what he achieves in the future. In a few days' time, I'm returning to this hill for one of the most epic challenges that I've always wanted to do. I often get asked, what's faster up a hill, someone running or someone riding on their bicycle? So what better way to put it to the test? We're gonna do man versus mountain bike versus road bike up this hill. I've showed you the gradient, you're gonna see what it's all about. Please in the comments below, let me know who you think is gonna win, the runner, the road bike or the mountain bike. I'm up for it, once off race. Let's go. So it's already around 25 degrees Celsius. I think the high for this day was around 34 or 35, a proper heat wave in Johannesburg. And that's why we started early. Any later and we would have suffered in the heat. So when it comes to hill training, it's a crucial part to your training, even for when training for flatter races like Valencia Marathon, Berlin Marathon, all those sort of flat races. Hills will always be a crucial part. If you look at the way the Kenyans and Ethiopians train, they train on very hilly routes. They're getting in a hell of a lot of elevation in. And we should do the same in our training. Obviously, it's important to replicate the route of your race, but it's important to get those hills in. And when you do these sorts of sessions, like I said, try and alternate them between the longer hill repeats and the shorter, more explosive hill sprints. Okay, so I don't want to overload you with information, but when focusing on hill training, what you want to do to be as productive as possible is really look up. If you look up, your chin's going to be up, you're going to be more upright and be able to hold a better running form up the hill. You want to really pump those arms, drive those arms from your shoulder all the way to your pocket, back and through. You want to be light on your toes. It really helps if you try and flick your toe up in the air, and naturally that helps you lift your knees. So your cadence might be a little bit less, your stride length might be a little bit less, but ultimately you want that power to come from the body, come from the arms, look up and drive, use that force up that hill, and that really helps you improve your running form overall.
Speed on. 3:53. 3, 2, 1.
Okay, I'm not going to talk this rep, just so that you can experience what it's really like from a runner's point of view. Okay, there we go. We're over the hump of the session. 3 reps in the bag, and I'm absolutely burning. The quad's on fire. I'm trying to stay in the zone. I'm trying to stay focused, because if I accept the burn, then I'm really might crumble. And so I'm trying to stay positive, use the others to help me. But I always find that once we've got 3 in the bag, it's literally downhill from here, excuse the pun, but we're over the bulk of it. And anything from here on in is towards the end, and mentally, that's just an easier thought process. Usually when you watch videos of someone doing heel repeats, the videos don't really do it justice, because you can't really gauge the incline of the heel. But phenomenal filming, I must say, because here you can just see how steep and what a bad boy this heel is. If you're doing a heel repeat session at home, or I get a question a lot on runners doing it on a treadmill, what incline should they be looking for? So like I said, the average incline for this heel was around 6% with a maximum of 14. Anything from around 5% up to 14 at its max is a good sufficient incline. Anything more than that and you might become unproductive. It's not always about doing the steepest heel. You want to remain productive, and I find that that range is probably best. So between sort of 8 to 14 for heel sprints, and sort of between 5 to 8 for the longer heel repeats is quite a nice sweet spot. An important part of heel training is they help build muscles, especially in the quad area, and those muscles just help you remain injury free throughout training and give you a lot less chance of getting niggles, even for when doing more speedy stuff on the flatter section. I really like this heel at the gradient of it, and specifically this part, this flatter part, because it almost to me simulates what my race mindset is like. I think, you know, when the legs and body's burning, and I feel that this is the last third of the race, the part that truly counts, get that leg speed going, and that sting in the tail I see as like the finishing stretch. You can always find something when you can see the corner of the heel. When I do the runner versus bike challenge in a few days time, on that flatter section, I'm definitely going to have a gap on the bike, because the bike's going to pick up speed and hold that speed all the way to the corner. So I'm guessing I need around 15 to 20 meters gap ahead of the bike before we hit that flatter section. I'm nearly at the top. Hold that form, hold that form, hold that form. And there we go, pretty much at the end. Rep number 4, 351 per kilometer. Happy with that. I just wanted to keep them under 4.
Last 2, 3, 2, 1, let's go.
Okay, so this is probably the most mentally challenging rep of all of them. You're fatigued, you're tired, but you're not at the end just yet. You've still got another rep after this. It's almost like that 3 to 4 kilometer mark in a 5K. Definitely the toughest, or let's say in marathon terms, sort of around the 30 to the 36K points of the marathon. It's really where you need to focus, because towards the end you can always find something extra, but this requires focus, concentration, and like I said earlier, if I let those demons get to my head, if I allow myself to be weak, I will crumble. So I'm just trying to keep it together and replicate that high bar I set for myself on the first rep. Having Jeff and Camo next to me helps so much. Once again, thanks for joining, guys. I'm sure you've heard quite a bit throughout this video, the dogs barking up the hill. And here we are waking the neighborhood up at 6 a.m. Although in South Africa in summer, most people are awake at that time in any case. But I won't lie, I was extremely happy that none of them got through that gate, because, hey, we might have had to get up the hill even a little bit faster. Often I pretend, or a mindset that I use to myself is run as if a dog is chasing you. And that's genuinely what I think sometimes, you know, when I get tired in a 5K. And yeah, had a gate opened, that thought would have definitely become a reality. So remember, this is the second last rep. I'm conscious that in the last rep, we're going to actually have a bit of fun. We're going to turn that into a race. But at the same time, I don't want to hold back this rep just so that I can have energy for the last rep. You can always find something, especially when it's a race. The purpose of the session was to be productive, to push myself hard, very hard. So in this total heel repeat session, we did 6 repeats, which is around 4.2 kilometers of uphill running. The total elevation gain is around 280 meters or so, which once again is a sufficient amount of volume to be able to remain productive. I'm currently just building a base for the new year, so not targeting anything specific, but anything from almost the 5K distance through to the marathon, this session would work well. Just looking back on this video and analyzing my form, I can see I'm leaning slightly forward. I've always had a slight bit of an arched back, something I've worked very hard on. Carrying kids obviously has made that a little bit worse, but at the same time it's always nice to know that there's areas for improvement. That form will help improve my running economy, but it's not just going to magically make me smash the lights out. Hard work is going to do that. Solid rep in the bag, and the next one is the race.
One more.
On your marks, get set, let's go. So Brendan over there on the far right sat out for the first 5 reps, and he only showed up for the race. Okay, so from this video, I'm sure you can see I'm around a stride ahead of all of them, but I know that they've got an extra kick. They could go ahead of me right now if they want. So I could also find an extra gear, but it's sort of like we're feeling each other out. I'm ahead, I can sense that they're there. No one's putting in a massive surge yet, but the hill's about to get a bit steeper, a bit juicier. Let's go, boys. Boom, here we are. The heel just elevated it a little bit. And I always say, when the going gets tough, the tough gets going. And so far, everyone's hanging in tough, making for one good, solid race. You're burning, it's hurting, this heel is hard, but you don't want to show any sign of weakness. You're even trying to mask your breathing heavy, because if they hear you breathing heavy, there's an opportunity, and once someone's tail's up, they're gone. Okay, I've made a little bit more ground, and I'm thinking just when you get to that flatter section of the corner, put in a huge kick. Boom, baby, absolute full send. I've made my break, and can I hold it till the finish? To put it into perspective, on this flat section right here, I'm running just over 3 minutes per K. I've got my tail up, I know I've made a kick, and it's going to take something special for one of them behind to catch me. And I know this is almost the end of my 6th repeat, I'm nearly there. So hey ho, empty that tank. I'm going to keep quiet for the rest of this rep, just to give you a feel of how hard I was pushing.
Let's go. Woo! 3:37.
Well pushed, DPD. Well pushed, boys. You gotta.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
There's Jeff, he came in 6 seconds behind me. What an effort. Here's a look at my heart rate throughout the session. Remember, my absolute maximum heart rate is 188, so 176 is 94% of my max heart rate. Congrats, Brendan. Sub 4 minutes per K up that hill is a beast of an effort. Well done, champ.
Those boys from London, they from Johannesburg, where it's hilly. Oh man, that was awesome.
Well done, boys.
Remember, like I say, that last rep never counts. I was broken at the start, but you can always find something for the last rep. Well done, boys. Nice, cool. As they say, heels pay the bills. Let's go.
So here's a look at the Strava segment. I managed to get the crown, and Jeff was very close in 2nd place. Thanks so much to this legend for filming, and a massive shout out to my uncle over here, not just for filming the session, but for supporting my journey throughout, not missing any of my videos, and making sure that I have an ice cold beer whenever I start taking my running too seriously. Thanks for watching, and I hope this has helped you.